When we started this ministry, we had nothing but a thought. Maybe this is what God is asking of us. I still remember the day when this thought occurred to me that we could start this. And I had this crazy thought, and I was working for the church. I was working for the Archbishop, and I was one of the first people to work in that kind of role. Rosemary and I, we didn't have a lot of money. We were paid I was paid a low wage. Our kids were little, and I still remember not having a lot. And this thought occurred to me: there's got to be another way to share the gospel with people in the walls and out of the walls. And the bishop kept saying to me, "You can find a way. You can find a way. You can find a way." I remember that all the time. You can find a way. And I remember this thought occurred to me: what happens if we were to go start something different? And I had this idea, but I didn't have any money. And I felt like this thought: I need to leave working here and need to go and do something different. And the Archbishop and I had a conversation about it. He said, "I agree." He said, "I think you should." And he said to me, "Go travel the world, go wherever you want, go look at all these things." And he said, "When you're ready," he said, "come." And he said, "I'll have a goodbye from the diocese, and then I'll have 2 or 3 weeks later, we'll have a launch of this new thing you're doing." And I said to God, and I said, "Okay." And I went traveling for about 7-8 months. Then I came back, and I remember meeting with him in his office. And I said to him, he said to me, "You got some ideas?" And I said, "I do." And I was just about to leave, and I got up from the desk and I said to him, "So who's going to pay my wage?" Because I've been getting paid over there. And he says, "Oh, I'm not going to pay your wage." I said, "What?" And he said, "No." He said, "I'm not going to pay your wage." And I said, "And what do you mean?" He said, "Bruce, what you're talking about is prophetic work." I'm glad he didn't say pathetic work. He said prophetic work. And he said, "Prophets right into the distance." And he said, "It will be my job my job as the bishop to make life difficult for you, to test it, and if it's of God, he will provide for you. It's the walk of faith." And I remember going home that night to Rosemary and I said, "He's not going to pay our wage," and we just hadn't seen that coming. And I said, "What do you think we should do?" And Rosemary said to me, she's the most enormous person of faith I've ever met in my life. And she said to me, "I think we should keep going." So we did this thing, Goodbye, launched. 3 weeks into it, I'm sitting at the kitchen table, come home from dinner, all 5 of the kids are there. Our oldest was 12, youngest was 5. And she puts a bowl of food in front of them, and she puts a bowl of steamed white rice in front of me. And I looked at it and I went, "What's this?" And when I looked up at her, she was crying. And I said to her, "What's this?" And she said to me, "We're running out of money, Bruce. And in a couple of days' time, the kids are going to have to eat rice too." And I remember I pushed back from the table and I said to God, "God, what are you doing? I'm trying to help. I'm trying to reach those in the walls and outside the walls. What are you doing?" And I heard the Lord say to me in my heart, and all the kids were there playing, I felt like the Lord say to me, "Will you make your children eat rice so that you can travel and tell people that I love them?" I said, "What?" And I just thought, and I sat down and I felt like it sort of me, will you make your children second to people you have ever met in order that you could tell them that I love them? And I'd love to tell you I had a great spirit about it. I said to God at that point in time, as I sat there, and I said to God, "Well, I don't know if I can do that. I'll just do my best." And see, that's all God's ever asking, just your best.